Four is pretty good.
Sit once again in the glow of the atom.
Gun is character creation. I want that guy. Look at that champion. No, we customize our squads. Just gotta make Natalie first. Relate, but I'm going with that. She's Christian. She's gonna be our leader, so we're gonna do this one. If anybody watches Nan's videos, she doesn't. So that'd be my favorite thing. He is smart ass to think. sun, smoke them bones. You very long now. Give him the leg things there. Mike's pretty tall, so we'll go with that. He's smart. He's cool. We'll go nice place there. That's the best. Let's go send that awareness. Sure it's about the same spelling. Make him the last member of our squad. I don't know if he has what his religion is. Don't care too much either, so. accomplish a task just the way you want to. That's okay. There's always alternatives and other opportunities to shine. That's good to know. Our weapons. Yeah, we'll find out about that when we get there. You're not hard enough to beat this game. The only thing necessary for the triumphant evil is a good woman doing nothing. General Vargas.
What comes after the end? I don't know. Neither did they. They were just an army engineer battalion, constructing roads and bridges deep in the middle of the Arizona nowhere. They didn't know why Armageddon had come. They'd heard radio chatter about an attack on some space-based missile platform. But who had attacked it, or why? No one knew. What they did know is that the politicians and the generals had finally ended the world. Now, everything was gone. They took over a federal prison for a fort, kicked out the convicts, got busy starting from scratch. Maybe it was an act of mercy. Maybe they figured that the prisoners would die out in the harsh new world. Whichever, it came back to bite the engineers in the ass. Cultists, criminals, cannibals. They've been living with the fallout ever since. Good people had survived too, called for help in the night. And those engineers, those common soldiers, could not stand by and see them die. So they came out of their fort, and they helped the survivors defend their homes. And for that, they earned a new name, a proud name, the Desert Rangers. Now, Rangers, I know at times it seems our cause is hopeless. And I know it's hard to say goodbye to a brother in arms. But I want you to know something else. That no Ranger who dies in the line of duty will ever be forgotten. Nor will he have ever died in vain or unavenged. Thank you, recruits.
Here's our squad. Here are the champions. Of course, the captain's going to speak for us, of course. A stiff-bearded older man wearing a hard-won ranger uniform and a battered old cowboy hat. General Vargas walks with a cane, but he's not helpless. He wears a pearl-handled revolver on his hip. There are a lot of notches on that barrel. He will light your ass up.
I appreciate you coming to Captain Ace's retirement party when you hardly knew the man. Appropriate, too, seeing as how investigating his death will be your first duty as a Desert Ranger.
How did Ace die, sir?
Ace had been trying to locate a faint radio signal, which has lately been giving us cause for concern. We gave him 3 repeater units and sent him to hook them up to 3 remote radio towers. This would have allowed us to get a fix on the signal. But sadly, Ace was murdered by unknown assailants right after hooking up the first tower, and his logbook and the last 2 repeater units were stolen. When you get back to the Citadel, talk to our radio expert, Wade Woodson, if you want to know more about the technical details. All I know is the repeaters will upgrade the towers and allow us to zero in on the mystery signal.
Logbook. Do you think the logbook was stolen, sir?
Don't know, but it wasn't on Ace's person when he was found. Look for it. It might have some clues as to his death.
Where are the radio towers?
I'll give you the locations of the towers once you have the repeaters in hand. More important to find them first.
The signal is a threat, sir?
The voice on those broadcasts disturbed me greatly. It talked crazy talk about a future where man and machine would be one. Worse, it talked about us, the Desert Rangers, specifically. It said it was coming for us. Yeah, I know. You've hardly found your feet with us, and here I am sending you on a mission that already got 1 Ranger killed. Well, I wish I had another option, but the Desert Rangers are spread a little thin right now. Ranger teams Abel and Charlie are out west trying to stop a range war out there from becoming straight-up genocide. And Team Baker is up north looking for a way through the radiation that's cut us off from Vegas. I'm afraid the next generation is going to have to lead the charge on this one.
What's the mission, sir?
The mission is this. Search the area where Ace's body was found, and do your best to recover his logbook and the repeater units. Then call in your report. If you find the repeaters, I may send you on to finish his mission. Ace's death must be avenged, and it will be. But finding the signal he died trying to track down is just as important. Besides, I got the sneaking suspicion that when you find the one, you'll find the other.
All in, sir?
Yes, call in on your radio. Your radio is your lifeline to Ranger Citadel. We'll be calling you with alerts and updates on your current missions, and sending you new missions when we receive distress calls. As Rangers, it is your sworn duty to respond to those calls. That is the contract we made with the people of Arizona when we opened for business.
When can we enter the Citadel, sir?
Once you prove yourself, the Citadel will be your new home. Consider this mission the final test of your training. If you succeed, you are welcome within our walls. If you fail, then you aren't cut out to be a Desert Ranger, and we won't let you in.
Smart ass. Surely, sir, the success of the mission is more important than testing us. If we want to find these signals, shouldn't you let us in so we can stock up on everything we need to succeed?
Using logic on me, eh?
He's calling you, Natalie.
Smartass. Logic and observation will change some folks' minds, and you can catch people in lies that way. But sometimes it only makes them mad, so be careful.
Guns for
In this case, you're right. I should let you in, but I got a feeling about you four. You got depths you don't even know you have, and it's going to take adversity to tap them. So I'm sending you out undergunned and unprepared, just to see what it brings out of you. You'll thank me later.
dead quicker.
Maybe.
Where is this area, sir?
It's about a day's walk east from here. I'll mark it on your map.
Okay.
There you go.
Thank you, sir. We'll do our best.
Good luck out there, recruits.
Logbook is your guide to the missions your Ranger Squad has acquired and completed, including notes and other information. You can access it from the inventory menu. Simply select the specific mission entry in the list to see more details. It pays to keep tabs on your progress. That's good. There we go. If I remember correctly, yep, there's Mike. Preaching man. Okay, he's got one. Okay, so he does get. Okay, yeah, but he can't equip trinkets. So I'm gonna put one more to his intelligence. Because he's a pretty smart dude. So. Oh. I haven't assigned us. Okay. lockpick. Do it. When a man died of Desert Ranger. Okay, so that's what it shows up. Shovel, man. Using items. You'll find many items in the Wasteland, some of which can be used in the game world. To use these, you can open your inventory, blah, 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 blah. Or I can just walk up to something and use it. Pretty sure that's how it goes, right? So I have my sniper rifle. That wolf. That's so rude. It's stuck. There I am with my rifle. Doing what I gotta do. Grenadier, Major, New Grievance. Top one. Desert Ranger in scarred but spotless combat armor stands at attention before the doors of the Ranger Citadel. He gives you a friendly salute. Welcome to the Ranger Citadel, recruits, but the General ordered me not to let you in before you finish your investigation. And I can't do any of these because neither a smart ass, not a hard ass, or a kiss ass. That's just not how she does. Look at this person out. Standard issue ranger garb. She seems occupied counting goods and organizing crates. Aside from the clothes, she's the picture of a loving grandmother. You can swear she smells faintly of fresh baked cookies. I don't know if you know what that is in the Wasteland, but okay. Purple Solvig Siphors. Well, hello recruits. Welcome to Solvig Sundries. Happy to trade whenever you like. An honor to make your acquaintance. Always nice to see new faces around here, and a pleasure to make sure they have everything they need before they head out into the big bad world. Nice to meet you too, Solveig. What's your story? Oh, it's not so interesting. I grew up in a village near here, but I was already a grandmother twice over when the Desert Rangers moved into the Citadel. I saw how much good the Rangers were doing, and I wasn't up to much with my children moved to other villages to start their own families. It was a little unconventional for an old lady to go through basic training, but I pulled my weight and earned my star. It may not be too useful in forward operations, but I've got lots of experience keeping people well fed and well clothed. And I can run a drill press with the best of them, so General Vargas has me help Sergeant Nelson run the supply, and I help Captain Mercaptain, sad sauce, in the workshop now and again. What's Captain Mercaptain like, other than having an awesome name? She's the smartest person I've ever met, bar none. She can whip up laser beams and water purification systems like I whip up pies. Whips up pies, that's what I want to know about. Let's see. What did I talk about? Oh, what's Sergeant Nelson? Oh, he's a great friend and a great quartermaster. We'd all be eating sand and wiping with cactus flowers without it. So you could outfit us? Well, with essentials as tough to find as they are, I can't just give them away for free. Believe me, I wish I could. But we keep our prices as close to cost as we can for our rangers. You can stop by for the basics whenever you're in the area, and once you get clearance and enter the Citadel, you'll get access to some of our more valuable goodies. You'll have to talk to Sergeant Nelson about that when you get inside. Ranger Citadel, what about it? I do love this place nowadays. It used to be full of some kooky birds back when I was younger. Fellas seemed to worship pre-war junk, even if they didn't know what it was, and they wouldn't share none of it. Well, I shouldn't get too judgmental. I'm sure they thought they were doing right. What's General Vargas like? He's a modern-day Patton who's got a mind for strategy and knows how to make the tough calls, but he's got a gentle side too. All right, what we got here? radiation suits. I mean, I don't know if we're desperate enough for that, so... Worn a little thin in places and patched more times than a hobo's dungarees. They still block most radiation, but you're going to want something sturdier when the rats start climbing. Protection from level 2 radiation and below. What got here? M14. Hamas. Shotgun with a stick. The nail board. Just in case Martians come in, I guess. The midnight special. Still munitions here. Okay, so I use 30-06 caliber. Here we go. Okay, and I have 50 scraps, so I'll hold off for that. Alright. Oh my god! Yes, so what's the good choice? It's the right stick, and then you can go to like a real top-down angle. Isn't that great? What's this? Show us so that power. How about them canteens?
Hey, Echo what? Mind picking up that can over there for me? Think there's some water in there.
Two cans and goats usually go together. Your instinct are telling you that you might not want to steal this goat's next meal. Yeah, we don't want to bother our buddy Goat Man. Hungry looking Billy Goat, better seen than smell. Hey, hate little Billy Goat. You know they get pretty gruff, don't you? Too highly of herself. Pick up some stuff. Pick up that stuff. Alright. Scrap his currency, yes. Got some 38 caliber tobacco. Not the wacky kind. Change your breast up. Sorry, can't talk right now. Gotta clean up this graffiti. Also, you're an asshole. Big old preacher man finally, he'll set him straight. Struck and everything. Locked. I'm gonna leave that alone. Just wait for my hunting rifle. Yeah, I don't like to pick a lot. Pick that up, right? Get us that XP. That's my word right there. So that's the gun range, okay. We'll take the shotgun ammo, but I don't think any of us have a shotgun. Not much of a loss, really. Sven. Well, at least it fires. Okay, so that's a junk weapon. Yeah, that's awesome. Got enough of these skills. Sweet. We put those coins in. I'm gonna look around with these little treasures. Let's see if we get us some sick equipment. One that goes for 1,000 scrap reward for apprehension of the angry red clown, dead or alive. I better kill that clown for all the people that are scared of him. And for all those clowns that come out of forests and scare little kids, because apparently that's a thing. Or at least was. A scrap can of tuna. There's extra tuna in it, or if it's just a can. I don't know, only one way to find out. We'll deal with that later. Caliber more. glass eye. Plain old glass eye or the coolest marble ever, you decide. And a medicine pouch. None of us was shot now. Or they are submachine guns. That's not how we conduct our business. We're about precision and solid ass weapons.
God damn it, Ace. You never should have put down the wrench and picked up the gun.
Probably not.
Sorry about the waterworks. I'm still pretty broke up over Ace. I'm Angie. You kids must be the new recruits old Vargas trained up. Lord, y'all just babies.
Baby us.
Sorry, but you are. As cute as little kittens. Y'all remind me of us. Snake, Razor, Thrasher, and me. Back when we were just starting out. Thinking we were gonna save the world for the future. Thinking none of us would ever die. Christ, sorry. Don't listen to me. Youth is good. Optimism is good. If we all started out worn out and jaded like me, nobody'd ever try to change the world. So you kids go ahead and give it a go. Maybe it'll work this time.
Where's Thrasher now?
You better call him Gilbert now. Funny, back in the day he just seemed like this big old growly bear. Strong as an ox and just about as articulate. But then he got all torn up during our fight with the robots from Base Cochise. He couldn't go out on patrol no more. Any other commander would have handed him his walking papers. But Vargas doesn't dump old friends. So he started him working in the museum. And once you know it, turns out the old bear has a knack for cartography. He's been gradually mapping our little corner of the Wasteland ever since. Who'd have thunk it?
All those basic cheese.
An old military facility from before the war. And the biggest fight the Rangers ever had. There was some crazy computer in there that kept spitting out robots and sending them off to kill people. We had one hell of a fight putting it down. Earned our stripes that day. Literally. That's when I became Captain Death.
Peter was making robots?
Yeah. The Base Cochise AI. Don't know what was wrong with it. Broken, I guess. It thought everybody was its enemy. Wanted to kill the whole planet.
What happened to Hellraiser?
He's another one gone. Went out for a patrol a few weeks back and never came home. Don't know if he's dead, or AWOL, or gone off to join the Scorpions. All anybody knows is he hasn't called in, and we haven't heard from anybody who's seen him. I miss old Hellraiser like blazes. Didn't talk much. Didn't make friends easy. Wasn't big on social graces. But he was as loyal as they come, and when the shit started flying, he was the guy you wanted at your back. He didn't win that name by accident. Sharp as a razor, scary as hell.
Red Storm.
You weren't briefed on those fucks during your training? Well, let me fill you in. You know when we left the prison and moved here to the Citadel? Well, the Scorpions were the jerks who moved into the prison when we moved out. Just a bunch of Rangers back then, but they've been getting more organized. Call themselves the militia now, and they try to act like they're the Desert Rangers of Eastern Arizona. But that's a load of horse shit. Protection racket ain't the same as protected people. They shake down all their towns for money, and if the locals don't kick in, they smash them up. The Rangers aren't like that. We get by on donations and good old-fashioned scavenging.
Hey, shit. What can you tell us about Eastern Arizona?
Basically everything between the prison and the radiation clouds to the east. There are a few small towns and farms out there, which the Scorpions claim as their territory. Rangers used to patrol that area before we moved here, and we knew it pretty well. But a lot can change in 15 years. Who knows? Maybe it's all as clean and nice and crime-free as the Scorpions say it is. But I've got my doubts.
Radiation clouds?
The edges of the map, kiddies. Big hot areas we can't get into without getting cooked to a crisp. The clouds move around some with the wind and the weather, but there are permanent hot spots on every side of us. North, south, east, and west. Until we started hearing those weird broadcasts, I kind of thought those clouds went on forever. And that Arizona was the last place on Earth. But maybe there's more people out there. Maybe the whole rest of the world's just fine, and we're the only ones in hell. Wouldn't that be a joke?
Have you heard any of these strange broadcasts?
Ace played me some of them before he died. Hard to make out a lot of it, but what I heard made my hair stand on end. Some guy talking about turning men into machines. Or machines into men, or some shit. But the crazy thing was, then he starts talking about us, the Rangers. Saying we're the cause of all the trouble in the world, and we need to be wiped out so his glorious future can be born. I mean, who is this guy? Where is he? What the fuck does he have against us?
So General Vargas used to be called Snake?
Yep. He was one wild-ass son of a bitch back in the day. But I think the weight of his responsibilities has kind of squashed that out of him now. He hasn't been in a decent bar fight in, shit, a decade maybe?
How well do you know General Vargas? Obviously we don't.
Better than he'd like. Back in the day, the General was the craziest of us all. But somehow, after he brought down Base Cochise, he became the sanest. Now he's running the whole show, and doing a damn fine job. While I'm still walking patrols and answering radio calls. Shows you how much ambition I got, huh?
We saw you at Ace's funeral. You knew him well?
They all hurt, but this one... Man, Ace wasn't even a ranger. Not at first. He worked as a driver and mechanic for Fair & Brygo up in Vegas. When Base Cochise started sending its death machines into the desert, Brygo sent Ace south to recruit robot fighters. We met him in quartz. He'd pissed somebody off out there and they'd locked him up. We sorted that out. He started running with us, helping us fight Cochise. Never stopped. Vargas eventually gave him the uniform and the hat. But I don't think he ever formally signed on. He was just always there. And now he's...
I don't like how Sean stayed behind her with that whooping stick.
God damn it, Ace. I knew this one was trouble, I knew it.
If Ace's mission was trouble?
He was working on the same thing Vargas has you working on. Trying to track down radio signals from beyond the edges of the map. All seemed a bit boring and scientific to me. But then Ace started saying he thought someone was following him. I asked him to let me come with him when I met him at Rail Nomads to give him the repeater units. But he told me to go back to base. He said he was just jumping at shadows because those radio broadcasts had spooked him. I should have gone with him. Why didn't I go with him?
Right side is 2020, the regular side, not so much. Know any more about these repeater units?
I don't really know the details. It's all a bunch of mumbo-jumbo about transmitters and north-south axis and signals bouncing off the clouds. Ask Woodson about it. He's our radio genius.
You know Woodson?
Radio technician Wade Woodson? Sure do. He's the guy that makes sure you can hear Vargas when you're out on patrol. Keeps the machines running and the signal clear. He'll also talk your ear off about circuits and frequencies and I don't know what else if you let him. But be nice to him. He's your lifeline to the base.
Tell me about Rail Nomads.
Could be a nice little place if the Atchisons and Topekans would kiss and make up. I can't even remember what it's all about, but between them, they got enough old railroad tech that if they worked together, they could give this area a real transportation system. Instead, seems like all they want to do is blow each other's heads off. Idiots.
Where's Corpse?
Man, not sure I can recall. Haven't been out that way in ages. Don't even know if it's still on the map. Ask Thrasher. He'd know.
Bye-bye.
Say, listen. Vargas asked you to look into Ace's death because he thought I was too upset to be professional about it. He didn't want me going off half-cocked and shooting up all of Arizona looking for his killer. But I'd gotta find this guy. Ace and me, well, we've been fighting side by side for nigh on 20 years. I'm not letting him die unavenged. So, well, I know it's going against orders, but if you let me tag along and be in at the kill, well, I'll help you find your feet out there. Maybe give you a few pointers along the way. I may be old and slow, but I know the wastes like the back of my hand. What do you say?
Let's go.
Cool. No need to tell Vargas why I joined you. If anybody asks, I'm just helping you get oriented, all right?
But might have personalities and characteristics of their own. Okay, so now we have 5. We have 7 total on our side. Dang, right? She's going to get going to have top. But it's going to go. We find abandoned shrines out of the Wasteland. These often hold old knowledge from bygone age before the world ended. Find one just for the hell of it. Mind open to your tactical options.
Ranger Team Echo, this is Ranger Command. Come in.
Radiation, friendly to randoms. Outdoorsman skilled from your squad's search radius on the world map and when traveling, as well as stability to avoid possible random encounters. Pick your friend. Okay, radio, Ranger Team Echo. This is Ranger Command. Come in. This is Ranger Team Echo.
Roger, Echo 1. Just making sure your radio is working. I'll be your dispatcher from here on out. I also wanted to give you a little heads up on your water situation. If you've all got full canteens, you should have enough water to reach the place where Ace died with plenty to spare. But if you're going to go exploring, you'll want to fill up again at any oasis you can find.
Okay.
Remember, your main priority is to recover the repeater units Ace was carrying. Once you've got the devices, you'll be headed to Ag Center and High Pool to install them. But we'll talk about that after you acquire the repeaters. We must, of course, bring Ace's killers to justice. But right now, that's secondary to discovering the location of that signal.
Does that mean you weren't always the dispatcher?
Until now, Woodson's been our dispatcher. But Ace's death made me realize I've spent too many years in my office, walled off from the world and how it's changing. I need to know what's going on out there, and I figure the best way to do that is to start listening to the people's problems. So, I've decided that from now on, I'll be the one fielding calls and talking in your ear when you head out into the wastes. Don't let that make you self-conscious or
I
nothing.
can't see you. That's what you think. Okay, check here. Oh, she has a hard ass of 3. Okay, I'll keep that in mind. Radio.
It is vital that all teams stay in radio contact with me here at the base. We get distress calls from all over our jurisdiction and sometimes beyond. Towns or farms or mines being attacked by raiders, mutant beasts, what have you. We field those calls here and then dispatch whichever team is closest to the problem.
This is gonna be you. Roger out.
10-4, Echo 1, carry on. Ranger Command out.
Alright, what just do radio. We use the radio for handlers and field promotion. Not a quick is getting enough experience points. Let's do that. Okay. So we're gonna go down here.
SOS! SOS! Is anybody out there? This is High Pool. We are under attack. I repeat, we are under attack. Raiders with mortars and explosives are blasting our walls. If anybody can hear this, come at once. Don't know how long we can hold it.
Ranger Citadel, this is Ag Center. Come in. We're under attack. The plants, they're mutating out of control. They're tearing my people apart.
Ag Center, this is Citadel Base. Can you repeat? Did you say the plants were attacking?
They're doing more than attacking.
Yes, goddammit, the plants. Something's gone wrong with the... the door. They're breaking down the door. Fall back. Fall back.
Ow.
Ranger Team Echo, this is Ranger Command. Come in. Did you copy those distress calls from High Pool and Ag Center? Over.
Message received.
Roger that. Listen, Echo 1, I have no one else in the area and no further intel at this time. I'm afraid it's going to have to be your decision which call to respond to first. Whichever one you choose, get there ASAP. Both situations are emergencies, and both sounded like they were deteriorating rapidly.
Center. We're closer to Ag Center. What can I do? Okay, Ag Center is where the plants were. Those places you sent us are suddenly having emergencies?
Uh-huh. Suspicious, isn't it, Echo One? Like someone's monitoring our transmissions and trying to stop our little radio experiment before it starts. Keep an eye out for suspect characters. Copy?
Roger that.
10-4, Echo One. Godspeed. Base command out.
Commander's approaching position. We don't run. We must earn our way. Just want to do one battle before I'm done with this. Freaking rabbit, man. get out of here.
Copy, Echo 1. This is Ranger Command. Go ahead. Over.
All is well. Just checking in, letting you know we're still kicking over.
Copy, Echo 1. Appreciate the update.
You'd like to hope so. Double duck. So you have a sneak attack. Yeah, but you still gotta try. Now let's go to Citadel Bases.
Roger, Echo 1. Then listen. I know I said the radio tower was at the top of your to-do list, but you need to deal with the emergency situation first, before heading back out to get the repeaters. Repeat, talk to Kathy Lawson and take care of her emergency. Then continue with your mission to find and hook up the repeaters. Protecting civilians is always a Ranger's #1 priority. Do you copy? Roger, Echo 1. Advise when complete. Ranger Command out.
I don't see any points. Oh. Oh. They got him.
Okay, this is bad. This is kill it with fire bad. What the hell caused this?
Figure it out. Sunglasses and a Winchester 20 megabyte hard drive. That's something. Let's see, this train was derailed by the vegetation explosion. It lies on its side like a beached whale. Oh, so that's what that was, okay. And then the water tank is draining dry, so that's no good. So we need to find an evil and then smite it. Easier than. And then it's the great pumpkin and it's getting greater every second.
Gets in a fight with someone whose last name is death.
be like a camp outfit or something. Although when you see May, like, carefully examining the door, Captain now is starting to find the lock and an explosive trap. Oh shit. I don't have an explosive skill, but I do have a lock pick. This is a generator one, so now birds are nesting in it. Should have took care of the generator. Start standing under the blue. You have no idea what happened here, but the thick, wet smell of vegetables surrounds you like a cloying, wet blanket of vegetableism. Here, of course, they're trying to assassinate us. Look at them carrots over there. Those are some mighty fine carrots. Somebody died over there. You know that much.
candy ass! I got this!
What else you do? What this is worth.
I got this! You got a lot to learn about tactics, I believe.
Yep. Okay, and that was Wasteland 2, and I sucked at it. This was Aaron Encore, and I'll see you guys next time.